What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Shay Renee, and we are back to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 15, Episode 6, Rap Sheets and Old Beefs. And I know we on a late night tip, but y'all, can I tell you something? If we could fire somebody mid-season, I volunteer for tribute for Marlo. Let's get into it, shall we?
Can't ball in a life, man. Go on with it, go on with it. Do us. So we are coming here with a force. Yeah. Blessing the reap and we coursing on.
Y'all, this whole Candy and Marlo situation is just really getting on my nerves. I'm tired of Marlo. This is all a foolish game of hoopla. Like, I need her to take her tired behind on with her tired, worn out clothes and her tired, no storyline have and tell. Get on somewhere. Go away from us with this, Marlo. I'm sick of it. Like, this, unbelievable. But kudos to Bravo because they got her and gathered her all the way together at the beginning of the episode. Because that, you know what? That was a call from Candy to Bravo or the executive saying, listen, let me tell you something. Okay, what I'm not going to do is keep on allowing y'all to make me look like a fool on this show and let this girl antagonize me. You better tell the damn truth. Okay, so they showed clips from August 13th, 2020. It was unseen footage that showed Marlo at Candy's house and how Candy was actually very kind to her and said that Marlo was sweet and thoughtful and all these different things. Then, mind you, remember, Marlo was dating one of Candy's cousins or something like that. So that's why Candy initially had a relationship with her. So they were cool in the beginning until Marlo got this peach and started acting crazy. Okay. So then she talked about how they showed the scene where Candy and Marlo are sitting down while they're packing for Riley to go to college. Okay. And in that scene, Marlo talks about how a roommate offed her nephew while they were helping, offed her nephew, and how, it really was devastating to her and how she was all sad. And Candy even talked to her and consoled her and was talking about how I totally understand how you feel because I have cousins and nieces and nephews that I look at like my kids and I would hate for something like that to happen to them. She was totally sympathetic to Marlo. But did y'all pay attention, very close attention to in that whole scene, Marlo never said that her nephew worked for Candy. I repeat, Marlo never said to Candy in that scene back in August 13th of 2020 that her nephew worked for Candy at OLG. She never said that. She just sat there crying and sad and whatever, which I get it. You're mourning your nephew. This is fresh. This had just happened. But why do you wait 2 years later to come at her with the bullshit? Okay? It ain't adding up. It ain't adding up. Okay? Like my girl Sean says, 1 and 1 don't equal 15. It's not making no sense. Okay? So clearly, this is all being done for a storyline. Okay? So in the next scene, they show how Candy gave, they further talked about how Candy had gave the kids cash apps for the boys and how Marlo, basically just keeps on running down on Candy despite all the things that Candy has done for her. Talking about how Candy is a 304 and all this, that, and the third. Now, here's what I'm going to say to y'all. Everybody keeps on talking about throughout this episode how Candy keeps on bringing up Marlo slashing the girl's face and how Marlo went to jail and this, that, and the third. Okay, but y'all keep on bringing up how Candy was a 304 back in the day, and that's old. Candy been married for daggone 9-10 years at this point. And y'all keep on talking about that. Mind you, Candy has been in relationships all while she's been on this show. She's been on this show for a good 15 years. So y'all keep on talking about old stuff. So if you want to bring up Osh, I'm going to bring up some Osh. Okay? We on an Osh battle. That's what we doing. We on a battleship of the ocean. That's what we doing. Because none of y'all seem to be able to bring anything new to the forefront to come at Candy about. So guess what? I'm gonna keep on bringing up all the stuff that you did, but I will charge everybody else to bring up something new where it comes to Marlo, because you definitely have a lot of material. There's definitely a lot of material on deck for Marlo that is current date. Okay, so do y'all have to keep on bringing up homegirl slashing faces and all this and the third? No, you don't. No, you don't. Because she has a lot of fresh material that y'all need to go on ahead and use. Okay, but moving on. Marlo meets up with Justin, her manager, and his friend Ty. They talk about what kind of man Marlo likes and jokes about putting an ad in for her to get a man or whatever the case may be. Here's my thing. We don't care about any of that with Marlo. Actually, she probably need to go on ahead and talk about that and do that. Find her a man. Do something. Find you another storyline and something else to talk about besides you constantly talking about daggone Candy, because it's getting very exhausting. So she cuts them off from talking about that. She's like, yeah, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, y'all, I'm just so devastated over this stuff with, my sister is so upset over all this stuff that's going on with Candy, and it's just really bothers me. And, my family keeps on talking about this whole situation. And, my family always was asking about Candy. And I'm like, I'm the one taking care of y'all. But you asking about Candy? Girl, shut up. Shut up. I want one of her friends to ask her, okay, so what exactly did you want Candy to do? And one of the friends was like, well, she could have sent some flowers or something like that. I'm like, girl, you done caught the delusional bug from your friend. That's what you done did. Okay. I just really didn't understand it. So her friend Justin says to her, so Justin asked what her sister. Oh, he was the one that asked about how her sister felt and Candy did and how her family had issues. And Ty says Candy should have sent flowers. Marlo says she should have sent flowers and catered it. Why should Candy have catered your nephew's funeral from OLG and he only worked there for 2 months? Mind you, you waited a long time to tell her that your nephew had gotten offed or whatever the case may be. You never mentioned that. So why is it Candy's job to cater your nephew's funeral? Unbelievable. Just say you wanted money from the chick. That's what you wanted. Because all of this seems like, really, I don't even, honestly, in my heart of hearts, I don't even think that Marlo really wanted anything from Candy. I think that she just wants to use this as a storyline because she don't want to talk about what's really going on in her life. And it's actually getting very pathetic. It really, really is. And I'm just really getting sick and tired of it. Like, it's just absolutely insane and ridiculous. And the way that she is over here rallying people around her in her foolishness, I'm tired of people perpetuating the BS with her. One of her friends has to say to her, "Girl, this is getting a little ridiculous." So this was 2 years ago. Okay, so why are you talking about it now? Why you ain't say nothing a while ago? Oh, okay. So what you want her to do about it now? This was this was 2 years ago. What you want her to do about it now, sis? Like, I'm that friend. Because I need to get to the bottom of it. I need to get to the meat and potatoes, because right now what you're saying to me is wasting my time and I don't want to hear it. Because you're giving me a bunch of BS. That's exactly what I would have said to her. Okay. So moving on, she begins to tell them about Courtney having this thing where they're going to be all gathered together, and she doesn't know how she's going to react with Candy being there, but she's just going to have a good time and not even address the situation, and how her life coach will be proud of her because she didn't address the BS and all this. Girl, how she held her composure and all that when she was talking to Drew. You didn't hold your composure with Drew. And you even talked about it when you, Drew, and Candy were talking, how you admitted. Now, last episode, you said you were sitting down and you didn't stand up and do all of this. And then in this episode, you admitted that you stood up and towered over Drew and was yelling at her. So you don't even know how to lie right. Girl, bye. You and your friends can go to hell because all of y'all are full of shit. Moving on. Sanya is in a house with her family, and her sister have a little lighthearted back and forth about some patties or whatever. Child, they love their patties in this house, okay? So they begin to have a conversation about everybody basically moving out and how Sanya is like maybe she didn't present what Ross was saying to her sister appropriately. And she talks about Mommy Nation and how she's going to be on, I can't remember what network she says she's going to be on, the best network or something like that, featuring some of her belt.com. And she shades her family members about quitting. She's like, yeah, I got this going on and this is a huge thing, but I got these family members quitting, child. I don't know what to do. So her sister kind of gives her a look like, girl, don't play with me. Okay. Which you did. You had your husband quit. So let's just call a thing. Shari or whatever, how the hell you say her damn name. But anyway, they begin to talk about how, she really needs them to be in the house because it's been a help to her because she could be in LA one day and then back in Atlanta and go wherever she wants. And she feels a certain level of comfort because she knows that her son is going to be in the house with people she trusts. He's essentially around her family. So she doesn't have to worry about how he's being treated. So she has a certain level of comfort knowing that they're there to support her. So she doesn't know how she's going to be able to handle the transition. And she really doesn't know if Ross really understands the magnitude of what he's requesting for her to be asking them to move out. And the mom says, you know what? I really don't like what Ross is doing by asking us to move out, but sometimes I'll leave and, come back or whatever. And then sometimes I think, maybe it is time to go or whatever. But her mom wasn't taking it in a negative way. But the sister seems to be balled up inside and having a little attitude because she keep going back and forth with Sanya. And I'm like, girl, if you really had all this money to move out, just take your ass on then. Cause I really don't need your negativity in this house either. Yes, you're helping me, but what you're not going to do is be nasty and stink. And you really need to acknowledge the fact that I have been here for you. Like them living there, I'm pretty sure is benefiting them just as much as it's benefiting daggone Sanya. Okay, because you're not paying any bills living in this house. All you are doing is really, which is a huge thing, by the way. I'm not going to minimize what they're doing by, keeping their nephew for Sanya all the time. But what, you want a cookie, girl? Like, I'm giving you a lot. You're living in my house for free. And how long did you think that this was really going to last? And I just think that Sanya needs to cut the umbilical cord. Be responsible for your own damn child, girl. And tell Ross that, guess what? You want my family to leave, but who we gonna have watching Deuce? Because you down there with the car situation. I got things to do. We got to keep money coming into this house so we can afford all this stuff. Because I know her paying $40,000 or whatever she paid for that daggone party, they got to keep the checks rolling in. Because you got to replace that money that you done just spent. You live in a big old house. Like, y'all have a certain lifestyle that you have to keep up. So Ross wants them to leave. I think she should go ahead and let them move the hell on out. So then Ross can see what it really is like for them to not have the family around and not have the support, and let him experience that before y'all go out here having another baby. And maybe that will change his mind about wanting to have another kid, because he'll see that y'all really need a village for all the things that y'all are doing. And having a baby is going to change the whole trajectory of what they're doing. Okay? So moving on, child. Shari, go on and move on, because your ass, she got a damn attitude problem. And she strikes me as a person that's very ungrateful. She thinks that somebody's supposed to kiss her ass because they helping, she helping them. But I'm like, girl, going on. So in the next scene, Akila and Kenya visit the new Kenya Moore salon space. Kenya bought a space that she's going to do a build out for, and she's going to have all these salon suites, and it's going to feature, of course, her hair care products. So they talk about Roy and how, she doesn't really know how to date. She's been married for 5 years, but girl, you ain't really been married for 5 years. You was married for 1 year for real, and you've been trying to get divorced for 4 of them. So let's not say you've been married for 5 years, but I digress. You married on paper. You're married on paper. I'm just saying. But moving on, she's like, she doesn't know how to move forward in trying to be in a relationship with Roy because he's always traveling all the time. And, she's still going through this divorce situation. It's just tough for her because dating is like a new thing for her. And she's just really just trying to get used to it all. So Akiva says, you can do this. I'll be your Zen friend to be there to help you. I like Akila. I think we should see more of her and less of Courtney and damn Marlo. Absolutely. So moving on. Then Kenya says, well, great. I'm glad that you're the Zen friend because I have some friends that's not so Zen, and tells her about Marlo kicking the door when she had Brooklyn in the room, and just basically how Marlo was doing the daggone most and how she likes to play victim. And she tells her about Marlo slashing a girl's face and going to jail and how she tries to be cordial after she does all this stuff. But I mean, how Marlo tries to play victim, and Kenya has tried to be cordial with her, but she just can't anymore. She just can't take it anymore. And Akila looks like, girl, who the hell is you hanging around? And I hope you don't expect me to be around these folks because this sound damn plumb crazy. So Kenya just basically like, she ain't fooling with daggone Marlo. Who we got in the chat over here? Is that my girl Jessica in the chat? What's up, Jessica? How you bees? Jessica says, I can't stand when a person stands over me talking loud. It's a power play and assertion of dominance. Yeah, don't stand over top of me talking. Because I'm going, if I got to get up and move away from you because I have a certain imaginary line of demarcation for my space. And if you cross it at any time, I'm not liable for what I may do to you once you cross it. And that's just the reality of the situation. And I couldn't handle Marlo towering her big old Goliath tail over top of me either. Michelle is here. What's up, Michelle? Michelle says, hello, Shay Renee. What's up, Michelle? How you bees? Jessica says, I have to catch up on this season. I've only seen the first few episodes. I think the issue that Liz was saying is family is that there are no boundaries for the sister. The job never ends. Yeah, you know what? And I get that. I get that. However, the sister needs to establish boundaries because nobody can make you do anything that you aren't going to do. And she got boundaries, trust me. And I think that the sister doesn't. I think that also is coupled with the sister not appreciating Sanya because she last minute didn't show up when she was supposed to do Sanya's hair. It's like family members take advantage and they lack professionalism. And I think that's a problem too. So she could just simply say, I can't keep your son tonight, or I can't do this, or whatever. And this is why. Or give her, hey, here's guidelines of time in which I can do things for you. Outside of this time, this is a boundary that I'm going to establish with you, and you have to adhere to it. Her sister is very vocal and stank. Okay, trust me. If she don't strike me, Shari or whatever she was calling her, she don't strike me as a person that's going to do anything that she don't want to do. Trust and believe that. Okay. But yeah, Jessica, you got to watch some episodes, child, because that family cray cray. But moving on, Sheree is talking to Kaylee, her daughter, about her new granddaughter named Mecca. She's coming over with Cairo and his girlfriend, Alina. Now, I would love to see Sheree in more of this light. Sheree is not giving me OG at this time in the season. Sheree is giving very much a follower. She's following, she's really giving me a friend of type of tease. Like she's following everybody else on the cast, namely Marlo. You don't allow Marlo to take your shine and your steam. I don't like how Sheree is doing that. Like she's perpetuating Marlo's BS. Like you're doing all of this, and Candy has been the one that's been there for you the most. But you decide to trash her with Marlo. I don't understand that transition. Marlo can't provide you with anything. Marlo can't provide you with a ticket to next season. Because quiet as it's kept, you probably on the damn chopping block right along with Marlo, because you know what? It's a clear indication that Bravo is thinking about getting rid of Marlo by that reel that they played at the beginning, basically letting everybody know that Candy really was nice to Marlo, and Marlo is the one that's doing all the BS. So Marlo, you better watch yourself, because you ain't gonna be holding no peach next season, sis. And they've made that very clear by playing those videos. Please believe it, okay? Because that wasn't for that wasn't for no reason. So moving on, Sheree has a handprint ornament that she wants to make for little Mecca. So the baby comes in and she's just so enamored by how Cairo is just very attentive to the baby, and she has a brief conversation with Alina, Cairo's daughter's mother. And Alina is like, he's so attentive with her, like he's so helpful, and I just think it's so amazing. And Sheree is like, yeah, I love that. And I really didn't think that he was ready to have any kids, but like he's proven me wrong. And she gets emotional in her confessional because she's like, he really is a great father. And she feels like he's doing such a great job, and how proud of him she is, because she didn't have that with I guess with Bob, his dad. So seeing him be such a great dad with his daughter, it really is warming her heart at this moment. So Cairo wets the baby's hands, and they put the baby's hand down in the ornament. I thought that was so cute. And they make the baby ornament for little Mecca. So kudos to Cairo for being such an amazing dad at such a young age. I know that's a huge transition in life, but I'm glad to see it. So the next scene, Drew pulls up to the house, and her daughter Anaya is really sick. She has a fever of 102, and she's just not feeling good. And Ralph is outside playing basketball with the boys. So the boys eventually go in the house, and her and Ralph have a conversation. So she lets him know that Courtney is having this event, and she's going to have to see Marlo, and she ain't really fooling. She ain't checking for Marlo, okay? So she recaps to him about the whole situation with Marlo, and how she was yelling and screaming at her about her nephew and what happened, and how she was mad at her for not saying shooting, but saying, incident instead. And she's like, I'm from Chicago. We don't say that word. Drew, I'm gonna have to stop you right here. I'm gonna need you to pump your brakes, because I call BS. I call BS. I don't think that's a Chicago thing at all. I think it's a you thing. I think it's a convenient thing for you to say right now. And I think it's actually a thing that's irrelevant. Like, you don't even have to say that. You can say, I say what I want, how I want, and when I want to say it. Don't know somebody tell me what words to use. I would have rathered you say that, because you sitting up here making up the fact that people from Chicago don't say that. Girl, boo and bye. But I did think it was interesting how she talked about her and Ralph competing. She's sick, he's sick. She have a surgery, he have a surgery. And he said, no, I don't. She said, boy, you had surgery on your eyes, your throat, and your... I'm like, oh, he had some surgery on his... What kind of surgery? Vasectomy? Because you out here doing stuff you're not supposed to do. So maybe you guys did that strategically so he doesn't bring any more kids home. Just saying. What was the surgery on the D? I just want to know. Okay. But anyway, Drew says she gives Marlo a million chances, but Marlo never seems to express herself properly. And you can't even really talk to her about anything, because she's always yelling and screaming, and she don't know how to listen. And she's saying now she sees what Kenya has been trying to get her to see. And Drew says she's about to get all the Chicago out of her if Marlo acts up at this event. So Kenya meets with her we see short scenes from three of the ladies where Kenya meets with her architect to see what the build out is actually going to look like when it's finished. And we learned that it's going to cost her anywhere from $300,000 to $400,000, which, if you're doing any construction project, girl, go on and add another $200,000 to that, because they seem to always find something else that need to be done, child. Then Sheree eats lunch with her friend Michelle, and they talking about her and Martell's rump sessions and them slapping shoes. Child, don't nobody want to hear about that. That is fake as all get up. Fake. Okay. Martell and Sheree are not together. At this point, I don't think they doing nothing, but if they are, whatever. I don't care. Next, we see a short scene with Marlo talking to the boys, and they seem to be doing some form of affirmations, giving each other accolades. Who cares? Blah. It's fake. I don't care. Now, I really want Marlo to really be this affected positively by the boys, but I just don't see it. I don't see it for her. I see her sending them boys away again because she want to have a night out with whoever said man is that's giving her money. Who knows what's going on with this chick? But child, I didn't believe that scene more than anything. Miss B, what's up? What's up? How you bees, girl? What you doing up this late? Talking about, hey sis, hey y'all, girl. Why y'all? I'm glad y'all are up with me because I just thought for sure I'd be on this camp by my daggone self. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'm so happy to have y'all in the building. So in the next scene, Candy is talking to Todd and he's going through the pitch deck for the movie that he's going to be doing. And Candy tells Todd about an event Courtney invited them all to, which is like beat the bomb, and she don't really fool with Courtney like that, but I guess she gonna go. And she's like, I don't know what to wear. Apparently, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with my hair. I don't want my hair to get messed up, and I need to wear something that I don't care about getting messed up. So Todd hands her a gray sweatsuit. And I thought that was real funny because Candy came to that event dressed in all black like the Omen. Okay. She ain't wear that gray sweatsuit that Todd passed her. I guess she went in there looking like a daggone burglar because she was going to beat the brakes off of somebody. Okay. So the gray sweatsuit got tossed to the side, and the dress in all black like the Omen black sweatsuit got put on. Okay. Because that is the I don't got time to be playing with outfit. Okay. So moving on, Candy gets a call from Kenya, and she's having a party for Brooklyn. Apparently Candy's kids are there, but Candy couldn't go because she obviously had something going on, which I'm like, girl, what you had going on? You in your house in pajamas, but okay, whatever. At least she sent the children, child, to go and play with little Brooklyn. So they talk about the event Courtney invited them to, and they also end up talking about how to dress and something that their clothes won't get messed up. And they talk about the text message that Courtney sent out to tell everybody about it, but she conveniently left Kenya off of said text message. I'm like, is that on purpose, Courtney? I'm pretty sure it was. But moving on, Kenya tells Candy about the whole situation with Marlo talking about her to Drew about her nephew passing, and just kind of recaps the whole situation. And Candy says that didn't have anything to do with her or her restaurant. And Candy says Marlo been around here laughing and kikiing in my face since then, but never said anything. And she called Marlo a lioness. Okay. I about cackled because I'm like, Candy is not playing with this girl. Like, I don't even know why Marlo keeps on coming for her, but I would not come for Lil Mama because Candy, she about to jump up and jap slap somebody in a minute. Okay. So she hangs up with Kenya and says Marlo needs to focus on what's going on with her and stop talking about me. And Todd says just address it and did it. And I get it. Like, Marlo, talk about yourself. What do you have going on? This is the time for you to talk about your rented eBay ass clothes and whatever other little bullshit you got going on. Talk about your relationship with your mother. Hell, talk about your relationship with your sister and how things are now that you done dumped the kids on her for however long you had them over there and had no regard for her time, and how that affected her life by you doing that. And you single, and she had 4 children over there and a husband, but you dropping 2 extra mouths for her to feed over there. Talk about the outcome of that. You got so much other stuff that you could be talking about, but you over here doing made up fake stuff by way of Candy. It's just not making sense. So we get to the last scene where the ladies all meet up for Courtney's event at the Beat the Bomb spot. And Courtney is just so fake to me. She's just too extra excited to see everybody. She's like, cousin, when Drew comes in. Girl, sit your ass down. Courtney is just so annoying, and I don't want to see her or Marlo on my TV screen next season. I said at the beginning, I just wish we could cut cast members in the mid season if people don't like them, and we are not liking Courtney or Dan Marlo. Moving on. So Sheree comes in, and Courtney asks Sheree about Martell, and Marlo jokes that Sheree is expecting, and Sheree laughs it off and says, no, I just had a granddaughter. And she's gonna call me Gigi, which means gorgeous grandma or grandma. First of all, I'm gonna need you to stop acting like you claiming grandma, because you definitely got that from Nene. Definitely got that from Nene. So knock it off, okay? So moving on, everybody is there, and then Candy comes in last, and Candy walked in there like Debo. Okay, somebody stole her bike, and she ready to get it back. Okay, she ain't got time for y'all in the bullshit. Okay, so everybody instantly can feel the energy that Candy ain't messing around. So she like, hey, how y'all doing? Okay, she like, listen, I ain't got time to be playing with y'all. I'm just gonna go and get on right into it. So Marlo was like, I feel like there's nothing but positivity gonna come to me. Girl, shut up. And Candy says to Kenya, I ain't with the bullshit tonight. I'm just not. So she says, you know what, F it. I'm gonna go on and address this bitch. So she says, listen, so what's that all that shit you was talking? Like, what you say about me and your nephew and something about him working in my restaurant? Like, what gives? What is it? What's up with it? Okay. So Marlo was like, yeah. Let's talk about it. Let's meet you and Drew go over to the side and have a conversation. First of all, why you got Drew all up in this? That's enough. Don't involve nobody else in y'all minutia. She should have went over there and had a side conversation with Candy by her damn self. Okay. So Marlo, they're all over to the side talking, and Marlo asks, okay, so what was said to you? And Candy says, something about you were upset with me because I didn't send you flowers for your cousin. And Marlo says, my nephew. Okay, but yeah, my nephew. And she says, remember old lady gang, and Drew told you about Drew said incident. She said, remember the situation at old lady gang that just happened, and Drew said incident instead of shooting. And and everyone is so direct when they talk about me. Marlo slashed the girl's face. Marlo went to jail. Marlo's a 304. And so she went over talking to Drew about the whole situation and how Drew may got upset at something she may have said and stood up. Then Marlo then stood up and yelled, "Shut the fuck up. My nephew just got shot and he used to work at Candy's place." All of this is just a whole bunch of BS. Like, she's basically recapping all the stuff that happened with Drew, putting a little spice on it, really steering the story in her direction. And she talks about 2 years ago sitting at Candy's house when they were packing for Riley and how emotional she was and how she felt Candy didn't want to deal with it. Mind you, girl, what do you mean you felt like she didn't want to deal with it? Did you ask her in that moment if she was not in the right space to deal with it? But we saw the whole scene, and you actually that we determined that was a lie. Not only did she address the situation, you didn't even tell her that it was somebody that worked at her restaurant, but she even gave you examples of her own life and how she dealt with it with her brother and all this, that, and the third. How she knows what grief looks like, but she can never, you know, say the words that can make anybody feel better about it, but how she really can identify with how she was feeling. She was sitting there consoling you. What more did you want from this lady? I'm like, Marlo, why are you trying to dig in this woman's pockets? I don't understand. Are you broke? Cause you sit on this show calling everybody bitches and broke. All she say with her reads, bitch, you broke. Your broke ass. Da 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 da. That's all she ever say. But are you truly the broke bitch? Because this is a lot of begging that you're doing on the slick tip. Because I can't imagine that you're this mad at somebody after 2 years when you've been laughing and yucking it up in her face in the last 2 years. Y'all leaving damn hell last season. Marlo was going back and forth with Candy, and Candy forgave her because they did the whole she had some KFC chicken or something like that, and Candy said it smelled good, so they rebonded over that ever so slightly after all the stuff that she did last season, calling Candy a 304 and all that stuff. I'm like, girl, Marlo, you're the worst. Like, seriously. You had your chance to get back in Candy's good graces. That wasn't enough that y'all went on ahead and tried to, squash the situation. You said, oh no, I didn't do enough. So now I'm going to come in here and fake with the bush and talk about this whole situation with my nephew bringing up some emoji. That's what you want to do. It ain't working, sis. It ain't working. So Candy says, wait a minute, how you figure I didn't want to deal with it? You text me about it and asked me if he worked for me. I told you, yeah, you can't attach your cousin's shooting to me. It had nothing to do with me. So why you running it back to Drew like it had something to do with me? It had nothing to do with me. And it didn't. Marlo was basically selling it to people. Most of them thought that it must have happened at the restaurant, and they were all in an uproar and upset. Like, why wouldn't Candy address something like that if it happened at her restaurant? It didn't happen at her restaurant. He wasn't even working there. And let's be very clear. Candy is not obligated to provide anything for this funeral. Just off of the strength that she's your friend, if she sent flowers, that would have been good enough. But even still, she's not obligated to do that. You try to make it seem like because he was employed at OLG that she is obligated to do that. Let me tell you something. It's Fortune 500 companies that you work there for 2 months and really didn't have like a huge imprint on the business and they gonna send you some flowers? Hell no. You think Walmart employees, somebody that worked the cash register for 2 months and then quit and then something unfortunate happens to them 2 months later, you think Walmart is going to send some flowers to their funeral? No, they're not. Absolutely not. And mind you, you sat up there at Candy's house crying a river because you were trying to have a moment on the show, and you didn't even tell her that it was your nephew worked at OLG. You never expressed that. So were you really that upset about Candy's lack of involvement in whatever you had going on with your nephew's funeral? No, you're not. Because if you were, you would have said something then in that scene. And then Candy, I have no shadow of a doubt that she would have at least sent flowers to the funeral if you had said it in that moment. You waited, according to Candy, 5 weeks later or 5 days later, something like that, to then tell her, text her about what was going on. And you never correlated the stories. Marlo is full of shish. That's what she is. I'm about sick of her. Okay. So Drew begins to talk and Marlo dismisses her, saying, okay, Drew, you can go now. You can go now. No, don't tell her she can go now, because why'd you even bring her over there? Don't do that. And Drew was like, no, I'm not going anywhere. So she begins to tell Candy what happened in her perspective. And Marlo is yelling whatever. Don't nobody know what she's talking about. Marietta comes over because she sees that the situation is getting out of hand and she's all nervous because she don't like negativity. And she's trying to diffuse it, but then she ends up walking off because she wasn't really doing nothing to help the situation. So over at the table, Courtney's like, so Sanya, how's the kids? And Sanya's like, girl, I can't even answer that right now. It's just too much going on. Courtney, you are so fake. Because she is just too upbeat for me in this moment. You see people over here damn yelling, screaming, carrying on, acting the damn donkey in the restaurant. You about to ask this lady about her damn kids. Girl, you don't give a damn about them damn kids. Shut the hell up, Courtney. Girl, bye. Go beat the damn bomb for somebody to beat you in the damn head because you are dumb as a box of rocks. Why would you ask that in the middle of this bullshit? Girl, bye, Courtney. So then Marlo talks about her sister crying, and Candy says, ma'am, he stopped working for me he hadn't worked for me for months. And you know how he got basically offed by someone that was at her restaurant. And Candy said, that's not true. And Marlo begins to antagonize Candy, and Candy gets upset, ready to pounce. And Kenya pulls her back. So Kenya comes over. She's pulling Candy back. Candy is pissed off. She's like, Kenya, I'm telling you right now, if she pop off, you better not hold me back. You better not hold me back. And I'm like, Candy, this is not worth it, sis. It's absolutely not worth it. And Marlo proceeds to put her hands behind her back to show that she's not trying to be a threat. and Candy's the one over here acting a fool. You would love, like my girl Monique says, you would love for me to put my hands on you to make your dreams come true, like she said to Robin on RHOP. Child, Marlo would love for Candy to put her hands on her to make her dreams come true. She is really a piece of damn work. I don't like what Marlo is bringing to the show. This is not what we tune in every Sunday night to see. We don't. I don't want to see the Royal Rumble. I don't want to see, and Marlo can't even read effectively. Everything goes from 0 to 100 real quick. And she just yelling and screaming and don't allow anybody to talk. You notice how she wouldn't allow Candy to talk because Candy was going to say, well, you were at my house when we was helping Riley pack up. I'm pretty sure Candy would have said, we talked about it then, and you never told me that your nephew worked at my restaurant. Marlo kept cutting her off, and that's what Marlo does. She screams and yells over top of people so that she can overpower them and piss people off to the point where they lose all coherent, effective ways to communicate properly because they're so busy trying to compete with her with words. They can't even get out what they really trying to say. And she just keeps on talking and talking and yelling and screaming. It's just all too much. I couldn't handle it. So then Candy proceeds to yell, and she says, Marlo says, oh, look at you over there crying, because that's what you do. Basically still antagonizing Candy. And Candy says, the only reason why I'm crying is because I can't choke you. I said, ooh. Marlo, you gonna get your ass whooped. You better be quiet. You need to stop. This is enough. This is enough. I don't know why Sanya, Sheree, Courtney is just get wit. I don't even count her. Why are y'all not telling this girl that this is just unreasonable behavior? This is team entirely too much. These are two grown ass women on national TV. This is not Love and Hip Hop. And I don't like how Marlo is turning it into that, seemingly. This is not a Mona Scott Young production. I'm about sick of this. I really, really am. So Candy Monietta, everybody gets Candy outside. Candy Monietta, Drew, and Kenya go outside, and Candy says, I'm tired of her trying to turn everybody against me. And Drew addresses it, and Drew has some sense and says, why is she talking about something that happened 2 years ago? Why is she just now talking about it? Y'all been hanging around and kicking the bobo all this time, but she now want to bring it up 2 years ago. It doesn't, something that happened 2 years ago now and be all emotional about it. It doesn't make any sense. So Candy proceeds to read the messages between her and Marlo and how she was calling her candy yams and asking her. Then she doesn't seem upset over anything. Then she proceeds to ask Candy to sign up for some damn app that she can make money off of. So Kenya says, well, that don't sound like somebody that's all sad and distraught. She's just trying to get Candy's money. So you want to use Candy. That's what that is. And so Candy was like, right, I'm not understanding where all of this is coming from. So everybody done got peeped Marlo's whole damn car. She full of shit, okay? So moving on, inside, Marlo is talking to Sheree, Sanya, and Courtney, basically in there, talking a bunch of bullshit and trying to get them on her side and giving the sob story, talking about how everybody keeps bringing up what I did 23 years ago. Girl, but you keep on bringing up Candy's box and who was in it 23 years ago. Girl, both, like, let it go. All y'all bringing up old shit. So it's not just Candy. So stop. Because it's a lot of new stuff that they can bring up. Trust and believe that. Do you have anything new on Candy? Besides, she worked too much and she don't spend time with her children, which you don't even really know that for sure because you're not even close enough with her to say that. It's crazy to me. So Sanya says, I'm going to go out, goes outside to talk to Candy. And as she comes outside, Candy is actually leaving. She said, you know what? I'm feeling myself losing control. When I get to that point, I need to go on and head on out. So Courtney is outside at this point too. And she's like, well, I'm so sorry. And Candy like, yeah, thanks, I guess. And gets in her car and rides on out. So Sanya asked Drew, why does she feel like Marlo is attacking her? Because inside Marlo said that Drew called her aggressive or whatever the case may be. And Drew said she was attacking her. So Drew says, she's mad because I used the word incident and I'm from Chicago. I don't use the word shooting. Girl, everybody in that confessional shows that Drew is full of shish because, girl, I don't even know why Drew keeps on saying that, but moving on. Courtney tries to get everyone back and she's like, come on, everyone, let's just go back in and play the game. Courtney, you the one out here playing the most games. You playing the most games. Courtney, get out of here. Get out of here. Because you're making me mad. That's what you're doing. You're too hyped up and happy and all this more. You're doing too much. You go beat the bomb before I beat your ass. How about that? Courtney pissing me off. I'm sick of her. Okay? So Kenya, Drew, and Monietta leave as well. They're like, yeah, I'm definitely not playing this game with you guys because I don't even like you. I didn't want to be here in the first place. So what I'm not about to do is go and do that. So Sanya says Drew is being a barking poodle, being Candy's lapdog. Sanya, bitch, I know you not talking. Because you basically are the dog in the bag for Marlo. All she got to do is say bark and you literally say how loud. Girl, I know you lying. You are the biggest lapdog for Sheree and Marlo. So you chose the wrong team, sis. So you're gonna be sitting your tail right on the unemployment line and begging your family to stay with you because you won't be on this show. That's what you won't be on. So you're gonna be begging them to stay with you because you're gonna need to fly and do all these little events and all this stuff to make up for the check that you're gonna be missing from this show. That's what you're gonna need. Okay? So girl, don't say nothing about Drew and none of that because I know you're lying. You tried it, okay? You tried it, Sanya. Okay? I don't ever want to hear you say that again. Because that is the pie calling the kettle black for show for show. All right? So Marlo starts fake crying at the table. Sanya, Marlo, Courtney, and Sheree are sitting at the table. She starts fake crying, talking about, I don't know, but everybody keeps saying I'm aggressive. I didn't do anything. And da da da. This chick is Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. It's like Marlo thinks that she can yell and scream at people and do all this crazy stuff, and everybody's supposed to be like, "Okay, but Marlo, I just love you so much, and yes, let's just stop. I'm your friend, Marlo. I love you." Marlo wants somebody to kiss her ass. She's trying to act like Nene. That's what she's trying to do because Nene used to do that stuff. Think that she can yell at people and degrade them and talk trash, and they supposed to still love her and put her on a pedestal. No. I don't want to talk to you after you done just been nasty to me. Absolutely not. And you're not going to tell me when I should get over it because you're over it. Marlo is crazy. That's what she is. She's very bipolar and crazy. I could not deal with her. I really could not. Because that's just team entirely too much what she be doing. And I don't know how these fools are sitting around the table perpetuating her BS. So Sanya says Marlo shouldn't have invited Drew over during that talk with Candy. Girl, shut up, Sanya. I'm so tired of you licking the between crack of Marlo's butt. Girl, bye. Sick of you. So everybody and all the ladies end up doing the beat the bomb thing. They didn't really do a good job at it, and they ended up getting sprayed. The end. Child, get Marlo off of our TV screens. I'm really, 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 really about sick of her. Miss B says if Martell getting it in with Sheree, I'm getting it in with Busta Rhymes. Y'all, I knew she was gonna say something. That is hilarious. But you probably could, girl, because you is fine. Okay. He might want you, girl. Don't front. Okay. Beautiful Traveler says, good evening, up, cleaning and washing clothes. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Yes, we got for the cleaning of the clothes in the house, child. Jessica Katrine says, there's nothing I'm going to see that makes me believe Martell and Sheree are genuine. This season is given very much produced and manufactured. Even the Drew and Ralph situation, maybe my mind will change. Yeah, you know what? I don't know if Drew, because Drew is not really being featured very much on this season. So I wonder if the whole divorce situation is even real. Like, I wonder if that was her last stitch effort to try to make sure she can secure her peach for the next season so that they can film whatever could be possibly going on with said divorce. Like, I'm not sold on that situation either, because you notice how Drew is sick a lot. She's not really in a whole lot of scenes. Yeah, she got in the middle of that situation with Marlo, but she ain't really getting too much screen time. So I think this is a scramble effect for Drew and Ralph to stay relevant on the show. That's what I think. Miss B says to Jessica, exactly, this stuff is a made up Santa Claus and no taxes, just lies. Jessica says, I'm watching as we're talking. It seems like everyone on this show picks the wrong sides. Candy should be all of their number one ally if they want to be on this show. Right. Time has proven that you don't want to go against Candy Pants, okay? If you want to stay on this show, you better make sure that you choose wisely with your friends. And being friends with Marlo and not at least being cordial with Candy, that's the wrong road. Wrong road, okay? Abyss said winning. Abyss stay winning. I love your name, okay? Stay winning. Love it, love it, love it. Now I didn't see have her so-called cousins back. Didn't she have her so-called cousins back? She should have been on Drew's side. Why is she over there with her haters? Right. Exactly. You were so excited when Drew came in there. You're so excited that Ralph is your cousin, right? But you wasn't over there having her back. You up here being sniffing up Marlo's butt. Like, what? Courtney is very, very fake. She was so serious about that too. Yeah, she really was. She is just unbelievable. Marlo is declassing the show. She absolutely is. 100,000%. She needs to get off of our TV screens quick, fast, and in a hurry. Okay? I don't care what Sanya said. Marlo was completely aggressive, even with her hands behind her back. Yeah, because how you going to be having your hands behind your back and still towering over this lady like that? Candy ain't but 3 damn inches tall, and you sitting over there towering over. But I bet you one thing. I bet you one thing. I think Candy would have tore that brick house down. I tell you that. She was gonna huff and she was gonna puff and she was gonna blow that Marlo house down real quick. Cause I don't put it past Candy. Candy, she look like she got hands. Jessica Katrine says, if you've got to over talk and yell over someone to avoid letting them get a word in, you already lost the conversation. And that's a clear indication that you're lying. When you try to talk over somebody and you don't let them get a word in edgewise, you're absolutely lying, because you don't want to hear what the other person says, because you don't want them telling the truth on you. That's what it is. Correct communication is listening to understand, not listening to respond. But she wasn't listening at all, okay? A bitch say when it says saying you don't like Drew, Sheree is a hater. Absolutely. So that's why everything that Drew does, Sanya finds a problem with it. And I'm like, girl, didn't y'all just call it a truce? But you just still going with the BS. Girl, let it go. Either you're going to let it go or not. Jessica says they need to get Marlo and Jocelyn Hernandez to do a boxing match on Zeus. Oh my God. I would subscribe to Zeus for that. I would love to see that. Okay. Hell, I love to see Candy and Dan Marlo getting the damn ring together, child. I would love it. Okay. Not Jose. not to not to mention the girl offed herself after that. Yeah, and that's so sad. I didn't know that. But like, Marlo is a piece of work. She is really crazy and deranged. And she don't get it. And even when people are talking about that situation, I think that people would stop talking about it if she owns up to it and even says, I feel bad that this led her to do that such and such to herself. So it really hurts me when you guys talk about it because of the magnitude of what I did and what it caused for this woman. And then I'm pretty sure they would stop bringing it up. But I do want them to stop bringing that up, because I want them to start bringing up the stuff that she's doing right now. Are you stealing people's credit cards still, allegedly? Are you writing bad checks still, allegedly? Are you stealing from the stores, allegedly? Are you still sleeping with old men to get money, allegedly? Okay, all that. That's all new content. Okay, all new content. I'm not liking saying you because I'm not liking saying you because she acts like regardless if Marlo right or wrong, she's still going to have her back. Right. And I'm just like, girl, it doesn't, I get what you were saying, sis. It doesn't make any sense. Like, why are you going and riding so hard for somebody? Did she bring you on vacation with you? You was just talking about how Candy invited you on vacation at the last minute and how much you had a great time. Is Marlo doing that? Girl, you picking the wrong side. You really, really are. Jessica says to Abyss say winning. Right. And she was just saying Drew does that with Candy, but Sanya does the same thing with Marlo. Absolutely. Miss B says, I keep saying it, but we just need the original. But now OLG of the Real Housewives of Atlanta back. We do. We really, 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 really do. We need some new, we need the people that was on the show, the people that can do it right. Because this right here, this ain't right. This ain't the right formula right here. It's a couple people on this cast that need to go ahead and hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more. We don't need Sheree to come back ever again. This need to be the last time her ass get fired. She don't need to come back to the show no more, okay? It does look like Sheree has done a little bit more to her hips and tummy. She has always had body, but I looked at it tonight and I can tell. Girl, let me say this. Because my girl Sean, she said, you don't think she got her butt done? I was like, no, that's her butt. I saw that ass tonight. That ain't Sheree's butt. That thing was looking a little distorted, okay? It was like pointy or something. I'm going to take a picture. We're doing our recap together for the Unbiased Opinion panel on Tuesday night, where it's going to be on my live on my channel at 9:30 Eastern time. And I'm going to post a picture of that ass, and we gonna critique the bootay, okay? And I'm going to get y'all opinions on just what it's giving, because it's not giving homegrown. And ain't no amount of squats to make your ass look like that. Okay, I'm just saying. Shan is in the building. What's up, Shan? How you bees? What y'all all up doing this daggone late? Y'all some night owls just like me. Unpopular opinion. Shan says, I think Candy and the gang was team too much, though. Really? You think so, Shan? You know what? I respect both perspectives. I really do. Miss B says, I got that same booty Sheree got on layaway. I got 2 more payments. Y'all, I cannot with Miss B. And on that note, y'all, thank y'all for hanging out with me on the Late Night Creep. I so appreciate y'all. I love, 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 love talking to y'all. This makes this so much easier. Not a screenshot of the booty. Yes, Jess, I am going to screenshot that ass. Okay, and I'm going to put it up. And I want y'all to see, because we're going to critique the bootay. Okay, because it ain't right. It ain't right. Shan says, I think the Kenya part about Marlo slashing folks like it was more than one. Yeah, I agree, Shan. We got to stop talking about that. We got to stop talking about that situation with Marlo. It's so many other things that we could be talking about. It's doing too much. Good night, sis. Good night, Miss B. I'm about to lay it on down too. Shan says Sheree did a lot. Yeah, because she was on Watch What Happens Live, and Andy even asked her, he was like, did you do anything to your face? It's looking a little different. Like, he was shading her. You could tell she must have put some fillers in her cheeks and done something to her lips or whatever. Maybe she got a damn facelift. Who knows? But y'all, on that note, I will see y'all mañana. I will be coming on to do a video for Summer House Martha's Vineyard. Let me know if y'all want me to review Real Housewives of Orange County. I'm thinking about going ahead and adding that, and I'm going to do my sister's review tomorrow as well. But on that note, thank y'all for watching. Please, please, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with anybody else that's watching any of the shows I review too. Y'all, we on the road to 4,000. We only got a couple more to go. Help your girl. Help your sister girl get there. All right. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for all that you do and watching my show. Appreciate you. Go to bed. Have a good night, y'all. Peace out.